Hello, this is James Rosasco, author of the hit series Johan the Subtle. I will now be reading you the epic adventures. But beware, this is not for the faint of heart. There's graphic violence and language. Here we go. Chapter 1. Once when I was under the tree. The redness started to bait the wolf-like animal within me. I remember my first recital of the bone marrow, sipping through the ancient relics known as the Independence of the Lost Tribe. Diversity eluded the marauders, as time exploded from underneath the still ocean and the rainbows hissed with anger. Upon the hedges that subdivided the soul of the lost lands yearned a wolf with no more shadows than yonder, with two more shadows. Johan the Subtle was a wise and withering old goon who loved to slurp up soup from the casket in the church, where the lights beamed down the ecstasy of life and drowned out the sorrows of the demon eggs in his body. The wooden hands of the dilapidated ancient clock slowly turned upwards in a clockwise manner, signaling that it would soon be time to head to the meeting with us angels of light. Fire burned in his eyes as ticks became talks, and the darkness ebbed in a coil of madness, and sweat burned down the left side of his face, leaving a thick, ragged rash. As Johan and I departed from the somber old monastery in anticipation of the forthcoming dwelling on the premonitions to be told, the sacred light would guide us toward a chosen path, and from there our destinies would merge into a new aura of consciousness. The hobbled old streets looked increasingly menacing as it continued down its intrepid path that leads to an unknown destination, to a place of unfathomable mystery. At the end of the intersection was a curved sign with an arrow leading me to go left. I did not go left, however, as going left would be to go to the bakery or Al's mechanic shop, neither place I am interested in now. Instead of going to the aromatic and puffy bread, I veered right down the dark and hobbled pathway with no end in sight. Johan the Subtle casually took out his magnifying glass and whispered a few words into the glass, and a small beam of glowing bluish-red light erupted from the glass, which greatly helped our treacherous trek down the alleyway. The alleyway, which was most likely a refuge of gangbangers, savage dogs, semi-automatic weaponry, and quicksand. Each mellow footstep on the dark, cobbled road sent a cacophony of chills down my spine, as the shadows slithered further away into the far reaches of the night. Johan the Subtle, usually quite passive and quiet, suddenly shouted my name, beckoning me near the sound of his voice. The trepidation his clamoring for me was very unlike Johan the Subtle, very unsubtle indeed. I peered down to where Johan the Subtle was pouting excessively at. It was a hideous monster guarding his turf, like Al-Qaeda guards their nuclear weapons, or Obama guards his Kenyan birth certificate. The hideous and enormous, disgusting monster rose to a modest 11 feet tall and roughly 6 inches in size. To accurately describe this beast, it was a lot like the biggest, most venomous spider in the world, but with fangs and claws. Blood oozed hungrily down the side of the monster's left eyelid as it flew all the way down where it merged into the stale bloodstream already on the street floor. I wiped the scourging sweat off my brow as I faced my adversary face to face. A deep, calming breath emanated from my chest, which relieved the tension arising from this predicament I must defeat. This monster just happening to be sitting atop the sewer gate tunnel where I needed to go, so left me no chance but to slaughter it mercilessly. 3 ravens to the right of me were getting mauled by evil vultures, filling up their bellies. Reaching into my rucksack, I pulled out a glimmering, shiny dagger, which cost a ton of money. It was embossed with the red scorpion insignia on it, which is why I'm part of, born and raised. The luminous dagger I had special made after my successful initiation was a completely special breed of daggers. For one, they had the weight of a feather, but the force of a boulder. By calling its true and real name, it will propel itself to you, no matter how far away it is. That is why you never reveal one's special dagger name or weapon to anyone, because they may be part of the resistance and one of your enemies. I hurled the dagger into the cavernous belly of the monster spider and stuck in like a dart. The monster ripped out the dagger, snarled, and started hissing like a creepy spider monster. This monster was too big for me to effectively use my dagger. It pounced in the air and snared Johan the Subtle with one of its claws and held him in a vice-like grip. Johan the Subtle was visible and understandably upset as saliva got poured on him, and his legs were stabbing him all over, leaving massive scars. It looked increasingly likely Johan would be eaten alive. I thought fast, remembered the lessons that were bestowed on me, the young apprentice, and remembered what to do in dire need. Abdullah was named by my sensei, who taught me basic survival moves. Taking out my green amethyst amulet drooped around my neck, I hastily chanted the 5 words I need for it to work. Rakana, Urga, Ramba, Wanak, Revenu. An instant explosion of the most incredible, intense, luminous white light burst out and blinded us all. Johan and I knew to look away beforehand, so we were left with only minor blistering earaches and headaches. The spider disintegrated from the light guards, entering my claw, and my right pinky fell off and disappeared into space. The loss of my pinky left a mangled stump, which looked infected and was gushing a fair amount of blood. What I didn't know then was that any time the light gods heed to your prayers, you face the consequences, and that usually means the loss of a limb. Johan the Subtle awkwardly rose to his feet, which to his relief were both still intact. He spat out 2 gnarled teeth, then motioned toward me to go down the sewer gate, where previously a monster was on top of it. End of chapter 1.